Hello friends, Juno here with another making of the PR videos. Today we're going to be talking about shades of champagne. Now before we get into the technical aspects of this video, I want to talk real quickly about the themes used in shades of champagne. It should be pretty clear that the entire theme is based on the usage of colors. Now this is entirely different from the rest of the PR videos because this is based on a concept and not a game. Because this video wasn't based on a game or a franchise, I didn't need to do any research beforehand. Instead, I went about making this video using instinct. Since I wasn't pulling creativity from another franchise, I really had to sell the theme of color using my own skills as a video editor. As such, there aren't really many technical aspects to this video. Most of the techniques used in this video involve keyframing. There are a few little neat tricks that I used towards the end of the video, but let's dive in with the start. The entire intro section is completely black and white, and this is very intentional because I wanted there to be a complete lack of color right at the start. I use a gradient wipe to open up with the text "Are you ready?" which echoes the lyrics of the song, and then I simply fade that into a white line that extends outwards. One of my main goals with the intro was to establish the concept of motion and stillness. By using both solid color and text, I was able to take advantage of the stillness of the color and the motion of the text. Additionally, I could even animate the solid color to create that sense of motion. In this particular scene, I animate the white line in the center to move towards the right and move the text accordingly to match that. It's not exactly the smoothest transition, but it happens quickly enough where the viewer can't quite notice the mistakes that I made here. Another small detail I added was adding slight motion to the text after it is finished transitioning. So the text flies here, pauses, and then moves slowly to the right. This is a small detail, but it really makes it feel like the text is moving when you see it. The following section is a bit trickier. I masked out a black box to have the same stripes as the smash symbol. Ultimately, it didn't quite match up with what the final product looked like, but I liked how this looked, so I stuck with it. Moving forward, we have a much more fluid animation. Once the text has finished crawling across the screen, we fade back here and the screen collapses into the smash symbol. This technique is once again handled by keyframing. I've masked out the four corners of the smash symbol and I expand it towards the center. We fade to black and then we get our first sense of color. I really wanted the first appearance of color to be completely contrasted by the previous section. Because of this, the only color that I show is a simple solid red on the screen. Presenting pops up on screen and it continues to move as the previous text has. However, I've added a bit more motion to this text. Right at the start, there is a slight zoom. The zoom gives a little bit more life to the text and makes it feel like the text is a bit more organic instead of just appearing on screen. Following that, I have an interesting case here where I zoom out on presenting and it fades out into the next text that scrolls on screen. This technique allows the momentum of the previous motion to be conserved and it causes the scene to be fluid. Again, the text is animated by keyframing and then it fades out. Suddenly, pink is the next color that appears on screen. I keyframe the pink to animate in such a way that it is a bit more dynamic. With the introduction of pink, I was hoping to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate more motion. The use of motion allowed me to transition from red to pink very smoothly without any choppiness. Pulling the S from the starring text, I animated this in such a way that I could use the S again to recreate another word, and in this case, I created sweaty lemons. At this point, I just fade out the pink, and Martha appears in the background. After this, I gradient wipe away the pink, which reveals the clip of Sweaty Lemons pulling off his next move. This part is a bit tricky because we need to keyframe the clip so that it zooms out as soon as the Martha in the background goes away. Now I'm going to move a bit away here from Vegas because in all honesty, there's not much else to talk about this video other than the ending. The rest of the video uses extremely similar techniques and heavily relies on the same keyframing and motion as I mentioned earlier. Because of this, I'm going to talk a bit more about the inspirations for Shades of Champaign. Animated and anime music videos have been a huge source of inspiration for me ever since I became a video editor. There are a lot of references that helped in the making of Shades of Champaign, but I'd like to talk about a few in particular that really helped drive the theme home. Boxed is actually my original source of inspiration for Shades of Champaign. It's not a very subtle video in that it prints nearly all of the lyrics on screen. However, I find the usage of color throughout the video to be very compelling and very attractive to the eye. Through vibrant colors, quick cuts, and well-timed transitions to match the beats of the song, Boxed is an exciting watch. There's a certain sense of sharpness and clarity in Boxed that helped me push the color idea from paper to the video that is Shades of Champaign. Toxic is a video that came up midway through production. If Boxed represents the stillness of the color, Toxic represents the motion of the text. Because Toxic is a compilation video made from many different editors, there's a lot of material here. The text seems to dance along with the song at times, and the movement is incredibly fluid. When I saw this video, I knew I had to implement the motion of text alongside the colors that I had studied from Boxed.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling.
With that out of the way, let's return to the ending of the video. For the outro part, I played the credits song on an online audio visualizer. Then I recorded the visualizer so I could use it as footage. For the last time in Smash 4, I used the green screen to get the silhouettes of the characters in the outro. I applied a 3D spin effect to both the text and the silhouettes so that they would transition on the beats of the song. So as we can see here, I have one division that'll create a single spin. It is also a preset effect in Vegas, so you can just throw spin onto the clip and it'll spin for you. And as we can see, the silhouette completely rotates. In order to get this quick, sharp spin here, the duration of the transition needs to be very short. In this case, a short spin works very nicely because the beat that is playing alongside it is also very short. This is a very important video editing concept. Animations that are meant to go along with beats of the song should demonstrate the sound effect visually. Moving on to the color splashes. I keyframed the colors to cascade in front of each other. So white appears, then pink, then red, then green, then the cyan, and so on and so forth. When we reach the end, the only sound going on in the background is the vocalist, so I found it appropriate to apply a single white screen here. I have a screenshot of all the colors cascaded in front of each other, and I applied a gradient wipe with the paint splash effect here. And that gives us this nice sort of Splatoon-esque color transition. The silhouettes have been masked such that they remain within their respective colors, and I have them linear wiped from bottom to top. I do this one by one until all the characters are revealed, and then I fade in the final text, Shades of Champaign. That brings us to the end of Shades of Champaign. I know I didn't go into too much detail with this one, but really there wasn't that much to talk about. My goal with this video was to help explain some of the thought process that went into developing Shades of Champaign. Thank you for watching. This may be the last Smash 4 PR video, but I still have a few others to go over in terms of making the making of series. The rest of those videos are going to involve a lot more detail since there's a lot more depth to those. Look forward to it.